Yo, what's good, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff if you choose to. But if not, just sit back, relax as we get into this messy thing. Now, many of us have been saying that the women should be sitting or laying on somebody's couch, getting the help they need from a therapist. Well, the writers have finally come through. The writers of season 7 have obliged our request, with DANNI leading the charge. Now, we saw in last week's episode that DANNI had her initial appointment with a therapist. And I think the writers played this extremely well, especially with DANNI having a strong disdain or resistance to therapy. It had been brought up before by Tony, and there was a strong resistance, it's like, to the word therapy, or DANNI feeling inadequate, that someone may believe she's crazy or she may not be all there mentally. And I think that she just had the wrong connotation as it pertains to therapy, but I think it was a authentic one, because many people share the same sentiment. They look at therapy as, something is wrong with me, something is not right, or you look at me in a certain way, which I'm glad that the writers are truly destroying that narrative when it comes to Black women, the Black community, that therapy is in fact a great and beneficial thing. Now, I was trying to find out this actress's name and I could not find it, but the lady who plays Carisha, the therapist, is the perfect person for this role. Her body movements, her posture, her voice, her tone, perfection. She was the perfect person to play this role. She just truly embodied the vibe and authentic energy of a therapist. And she was dropping gems throughout her entire 50 seconds. Her entire 50 seconds with DANNI. Y'all don't do that because y'all know this scene was short as hell, but it was powerful and impactful. Carisha asked DANNI what I would call a sobering question. And she asked DANNI what caused her to seek out therapy. And DANNI's reply was mimosas and letting some things out as she was talking with her friends that maybe she shouldn't have let out. And Carisha asked her, her relationship with her friends. And she stated that they're my sisters, they're like family. And one thing I loved about Carisha is that she kept placing the questions back to DANNI, how she feels, what she thinks. And she made the statement, if everybody around you who you're close to sees something that you can, and they're suggesting this, kind of maybe you should lean into it. And so DANNI honestly doesn't believe that she should be in therapy. She doesn't believe that she needs therapy. And Carisha hit her with the most beautiful sentiment I believe that one could give a person who they know is in need without exploiting them in a negative way. And Carisha tells her that you have to want to be here. You have to choose to heal. I said, are we in church? Where is the collection plate? That there could have been the benediction. You have to want to be here. You have to choose to heal. I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now, going back a little further, DANNI says that she doesn't believe that she needs therapy. But I'm going to go ahead and call cap on that, because when DANNI was talking to the girls, she made a statement like, we all need therapy. None of our lives, is where it needs to be. And that is the truth. That is a God honest truth. DANNI strikes me as that type of friend where if you go to, prime example, I just want to talk to you, DANNI. You've been doing some things that have been alarming and extremely concerning for me, and I think that you may need to talk to someone. DANNI is a type of person that may say, well, you know what? You've been doing some things that's been concerning to me too. And it's like, girl, just listen. Let me have this moment. You're doing some things that are concerning. And I know that it is a hard pill to swallow when you're trying to embrace the truth about yourself, especially if you feel that that pill shouldn't be prescribed to you anyway. It is a hard thing. It is a difficult thing. And I'm not making light of that. But I do hope that the writers continue to go in the direction of DANNI receiving therapy. She is not the only one who needs it. I'm going to throw that out there. She is not the only one who needs it. But being that they have chosen her to lead the charge, they have chosen her to be the one, I really hope that they do not drop the ball with this storyline and actually let her go through the process of dealing with her insecurities, dealing with her own personal demons, dealing with the things that she deals with in secret, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, all of that stuff. Because the things that DANNI does to her so-called friends and sisters, as the fact that she has called them family, that's concerning. That concerns me, especially with the things that I have seen DANNI do. The fact that, and I know, this has been a lot, but just in recent, if DANNI does feel a way about Karen's paternity of her child, that's perfectly fine. She has every right to feel the way that she feels. The fact that DANNI doesn't see a problem discussing those things with Fatima is concerning to me. That is a huge flag to someone who you consider family. We have seen her do it with Sabrina. The thing that's coming to my memory as I speak is when Sabrina told DANNI how it makes her feel when she says certain remarks about Calvin and his sexuality, because it's someone that she does like. She does consider him a friend, and Sabrina doesn't like when DANNI does it. DANNI was made aware of it, said she wouldn't do it, and she continued to do it as if Sabrina's feelings did not matter at all. With her and Andy, we really don't see that type of interaction with them. Now, those two, I would say, really use each other. When Andy wanted her ego to be stroked, when Andy wanted to be told what she wanted to hear, what would Andy do? She would take out DANNI to dinner, to expensive restaurants, things that she know DANNI couldn't afford on her own, for DANNI to kind of tell her what she wanted to hear. Period. So we've seen that interaction, but I'm like, let DANNI get the help that she needs and really deal. Because I want to know what the hell is her problem. And I don't mean problem as something is wrong with her. When I say problem, I want to know those things that plague DANNI that she does not reveal to other people. Like, there is nothing wrong with therapy, and everyone has their moment as to why they have gone. And I think that is such a powerful statement that Carisha said to her, like, what caused you to be here? And when you know something is going on, and therapy is not just everything is going wrong in my life. Everything is going awry in my life. Everything just doesn't make sense in my life. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to who doesn't know you, who won't pass judgment, who does not have their own conjured up idea of who they think you are, but just someone you could be bare and vulnerable with. Now, that is a very uncomfortable position to be in. But when you know you need the assistance, it don't even matter. Now, sometimes it takes a while to find that person for you. Sometimes people go through different therapists until they find the one that they believe that can offer them the most help. But it's not about my life is just going bad. I know for me, personal story, I have gone to therapy and counseling and all of that. And there was a time in my life when I probably should have been in therapy that I did not go. But the thing that triggered it for me was when my grandparents passed away, my mom's parents, and they died 30 days apart. And most of my family lived in the Tampa area. And I'm from Florida, and I lived in Tallahassee, which is about a 3-hour, 4-hour difference. And my grandmother passed away first. 30 days later, my grandfather passed away. And when I got back to my house and I opened my door, it was the first time in my life I ever felt alone. Just alone. I started thinking about my aunts and my uncles and my mom, and they were all married. Now, my mom wasn't married, but in her household, my siblings were there. So she had noise. There was distraction. I didn't have that. I had me along with my thoughts, along with my emotions, along with all these things that was just going through me emotionally. And I just felt alone. And I'm like, yeah. And the person who helped me at that time, we're not friends today. However, I am thankful for her because she knew this is not the Alicia that I know. This is not the person who was my homegirl. something ain't right. And I'm concerned. And I think she needs to talk to somebody. And even though she did not ask me, she just literally, like, she picked me up from work one day. She was like, yeah, you going to go talk to such and such because I'm worried about you. I didn't have time to think. I didn't have time to do nothing. She just took me to the place. And I'm just like, I can appreciate that. And I'm thankful. And sometimes we need those type of people in our life when we're just emotionally weak and can't figure out what to do. So therapy is important for Danny. And I hope that she continues it. And I hope that they don't make it out to be a joke. I hope that it is something that she does. And we can see a change in Danny. And I just don't want to see a change in Danny because she's dating Tony. Like, I don't want her change to be associated with a man. I want it to be because she recognizes she needs to deal with some certain things on her own within herself, and she does it. So hopefully that's where they go, with this whole thing. But Danny versus therapy, we gonna see what happened. But I hope it's a situation that takes her to where she needs to be so that she can be a healthy person and a good friend. Because right now she ain't either. She ain't either. Danny, I'm looking at you funny, sis. I'm looking at you sideways, sis. But yeah, but we're going to see what happened with that. I want to thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I will holler at y'all later, and y'all be safe out there. One.